You ate so much.
Yeah, I was hungry. All of our little postcard people. Okay, I don't want you to get jammed up now. Easy, easy. Working. How about this lighting? Oh my gosh. Okay, hopefully you can hear me over the heater. I'm officially in my new space, my new studio space, and I have some thoughts, I have some feelings, I have some thoughts about my feelings and some feelings about my thoughts, but yeah, overall, it's going to be a big improvement. I mean, you've seen, like, it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger. We actually have, like, a space to walk around. In the old space, I was, like, hitting my hips on everything all the time. And, yeah, this one we have a space to walk around for all three of us to work when both of my assistants are here. And, yeah, it's just great. And I've got this cool garage door and like this cool, like, these are, the heater turned off. Okay. Got coffee teeth. So gross. So the bricks, they're not bricks, on this wall are actually like porcelain blocks. Like they're like, if you tap on them, they're, you know, the same feeling as like a dinner plate or whatever, because they're porcelain. They're so cool. We have no idea how old they are. I have not drilled into them. I hung this mirror with like the most intense, epic command strips that I could find, and it held. I put it up yesterday and it's held overnight, so. And then behind me is like this brick wall, which is super cool. So yeah, it's just like more interesting to look at. I have my cool gallery wall, and obviously windows are really fun. They're north-facing windows, which here in Colorado means that like I'm not gonna get any direct light through them, so it's all just like indirect, like this like nice hazy indirect light. I'm a big fan. The only downside to being in this space, so I'm now in the back of the building. Before I was in like the very, very front, right next to the coffee shop, and I liked that because I liked being able to just like see people that were coming in. Made me feel like I wasn't just, yeah, in my spare bedroom at home. But I still get, I'm like back here, we have like a big kitchen over here. So I'm back by the kitchen, so I still get to see people that work here walking around. Yeah, so it'll be fine. Overall, it's good. It's good. But yeah, today I'm by myself. I'm working on So there's a company, they're based out of, I think technically they're in Lafayette, Colorado, but maybe the actual like company is in Boulder. I don't know. They're called Trek Light Gear. You've probably seen their blankets. They make these really beautiful woven blankets that they sell at like Anthropologie and a lot of other stores. Like we have some at in the store up front here. And they also make a lot of other like lifestyle stuff that is all inspired by the outdoors. So they have hammocks. That's what they started with. They started making, you know, those like hammocks that you can just string up on trees. And then they also have like fanny packs and some apparel and other like bags and stuff. But they also make these towels that are like beach towels, and then they have like yoga towels that are like this really cool fabric. So they asked if I would do a design for a towel, and I think this is going to be for one of the like beach towels. And the girl that I've been talking with, Heather, she really loved my big cactus prints. Let's see if I can show. I got this one hanging up. Where is it? Where is it? That one. You can't see it. It's not focusing. She loved that one. So I'm doing one that's like loosely inspired by that, and that's what I'm working on today. This guy. Also watching the replay of the Chutzpah live stream. My Chutzpah sisters, also trying to get on that YouTube hustle. So I'm watching that, working on this design. So far, what I have here, I'll show you. So we've got basically the outline, and I did most of this on fresco, which is something that I'm trying to get better at. Oops. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at fresco because it's less frustrating than the iPad version of Illustrator, but it also has a vector drawing function. So for stuff like this that I want to look, you know, still hand drawn, but I need it to be vector, and I still want the edges to be really crisp. I think that's gonna be the tool that I use the most, the software that I use the most. A lot of times I'll do, you know, just like, I'll try and have like a really crisp drawing in Procreate, and then I'll do like an image trace in Illustrator, and then go in and manually clean it up, because the trick with image trace, if you have any idea what I'm talking about, the trick with image trace is to make it not look like you used image trace, because every designer can tell if you're walking down the street and you see a billboard, or like one time I saw something on the side of a truck and I was like, they used image trace and they didn't like fix it up. They just clicked image trace, first thing that popped up, because image trace works to a certain extent. And then there's like all these little corners though that you have to fix, and edges that don't look quite right. It's mostly the corners that get super messed up. Anyway, I think this was faster to do the vector illustration in fresco and then import it into here. I still had to do some cleaning up, but I think for an illustration that was this complex, it was the right decision. I'm still going in, rounding corners. I probably won't round all of them, which is gonna annoy me when I finally see the towel, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but it's like kind of my pet peeve. So So you can see, like, especially on these yuccas, there's all those little tiny acute corners. And one of the things that I think can help your work, especially if you're doing like complex illustration work like this, one of the things that can help your work stand out and look more refined and complete is if you round those corners. Let me zoom in. So all of these edges, this one, I don't know why that's flat, but you can see like that is not an acute angle. That is a rounded corner. And most of these I've already gotten to, you can tell. Try and find, oh, here's one that I didn't get to. Right there. See, that's still an acute corner. And that's, oh, and this one. And that's just not as clean of a look. To have them rounded like that just looks, to me personally, I think it looks better. But going through an illustration like this, committing to rounding all the corners, I'm probably not gonna do that. So yeah, once I finish that outline, then I'm gonna go in and do the coloring, the color blocking, putting in the colors and the textures for the different plants. Hopefully it can all stay vector so that the file that I ultimately send to the company can stay really nice and crisp, because I think the way that these towels are printed, they can be really crisp, as opposed to like other towel, like terry cloth towels are fuzzy. So it doesn't matter as much, but with this, it's gonna matter. So yeah, hopefully everything can stay vector and I don't have to go into Photoshop to add any texture. Okay, I've been talking for like 15 minutes. God, I can't get over how good this light is. But I also realized that now, yeah, that heater's really loud. Oh well. Okay, so I'm working on this towel, trying to keep you updated. So what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to add texture, figure out a good way to add like pretty dimensional texture to this vector file that's going to have a bunch of different colors. So here's what I've landed on. Here's how I'm figuring out how to do this texture situation. So I've got the main color underneath, which is like this light turquoise. And then I'm using swatches. These, they're like noise swatches. They're from True Grit Texture Supply, which I use a ton of their stuff all the time, but this was their with the tone texture swatches for Illustrator. So I'm using like a noise one, and then I can't remember what the other one is called. And then basically just image tracing those, which I know I said I hate doing that with image trace. I hate using image trace in Illustrator, but this is going to be like, the detail in this is so small that I don't think it's gonna matter. And then I'm doing like a light color and then like a dark color underneath that. So that's how I figured that out. I don't know if it looks good. Here I am, chatty. It is Thursday, April 13th. It's really cloudy, but it's kind of warm, so that's nice. And what was I going to talk about? Today's Thursday. On Tuesday, my husband and I are going to New York City. We're going to go visit. My best friend moved there a while ago, and I still haven't been to see her. She lives in Brooklyn, so we're gonna go stay with her. So maybe I'll film a little bit of that, and then while I'm gone, I think I've decided that I'm gonna have a sale on my website. I don't know how much yet though. Maybe 25% off, maybe 30% off, I don't know. Because the months, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but the months from March to May, I've learned are the slowest in terms of sales, in terms of online sales and wholesale sales. So I've kind of tried to come up with some ways to combat that. In March, I did those big prints, because new big prints always sell pretty well. So that was really good, and that brought in enough money to where I didn't feel like I was a failure that month. Even though I know it's gonna pick up. I know it's gonna pick up in the summer, but it always does. But so this month in April, I'm gonna do a sale for my birthday. Starting, I think I'm gonna do it from Monday to Friday. I'm gonna do a sale on my website. So hopefully that'll bring in more money. Doing sales now that I sell all of my individual orders. So if you go onto my website and you just ordered a print, it comes from a printer in California or North Carolina, depending on where you're ordering from, and not directly from me, which was a huge bummer, but I just had to do it because of the volume of stuff. And one of the sucky things about that is that I just don't make as much money on each order as I used to, because they charge me per order. So the percentage of profit that I'm making on each order is a lot less. So when I have a sale, I have to make sure that I'm not selling things for less than I'm making off of them. So I'm gonna have to do some math, some calculating. And then I think my plan for May, to combat slow sales in May, is I'm gonna come out with a bunch of new stuff. I think I'm gonna do a series of possibly national park posters, because I know that's something that people have asked me for forever. For as long as I've been doing landscapes, people have wanted me to do national park posters. So that's all. Saturday, April 15th. Yes, I got my taxes done before today. Awesome. So yesterday, when I was in here, I found out that something that I worked on way back, it was like the end of the summer of 2021. I got an email from Howler Brothers, which is a clothing company based out of Austin. They make really cool men's apparel. It's geared mostly towards fishing, which sounds really old man-ish, but it's more in the vein of like Patagonia. They kind of have like this, laid back surfer branding, which is really cool. And one of the things that they are known for is hiring really good designers. Like some of my favorite designers have done stuff for them. So they were somebody that I had kind of set my sights on way back as like, wow, it'd be really cool to do stuff for them. So yeah, I got an email from them back in 2021 asking about something. It was a moth design that I had already done, and they were like, hey, can we license this from you? And I was like, sure. And that was kind of the end of it. Like, they paid me, I sent them the file, didn't know anything else. And then almost a year later, I got another email from them saying, hey, we actually want to turn this into like a series of night bugs, I think is what they said. And so I did another design, so similar to the moths that I had already done, I did another design of a cicada, those like really loud bugs that come out in the summer if you live around here, or in most places I think in the States. And then fireflies, which are not something that most people have. So I did those, sent them off, got paid, didn't hear anything for a really long time. And then last week got an email. So this is now, April 2023. Last week got an email asking, hey, what are the names of the moths? What kind of moths are they? The ones that they bought from me originally. So I sent them the names, and then they said, cool, it'll be coming out later in April. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I thought I was gonna have to like hunt it down later this month. But then one of the architects that works down the hall popped in yesterday, and he was like, hey, I saw your stuff came out with Howler Brothers, because he loves Howler Brothers. And I was like, what? So I'm gonna show you. Anyway, if you feel so inclined to go purchase one of these lovely shirts, please do. You'll look amazing. The other really cool thing about it is that so Howler Brothers is like a brand that my family has always really loved. Like my brother, my mom's boyfriend, my cousins, like they're all super into fishing, and so they have been aware of Howler Brothers for longer than I have. And it's one of the first times that I've done something that they were like, oh, wow, that's kind of a big deal. Even though, it's just drawing some moths on a shirt. But the other thing that I came in to do is work on some stuff for a musician artist named Gregory Alan Isakoff. He is a musician based out of Boulder. He also has a farm, apparently. I don't know. But now we're talking about merch for his tour, so posters and t-shirts and stuff like that. So I came in to do some work on that. Probably can't show anything yet before it comes out, but I feel like I can talk about it. I can probably talk about it. It's okay. But just know it might not happen. I might work on it, and then they decide, this is crap. You suck. April 27th. I think I've talked a lot on this one, but I'm going to talk some more. And then, yeah, sorry, I was kidding. There's people outside. Okay. Sorry, I literally every time I walk into this building, my nose just starts like dripping like a faucet. I don't know what it is. I know what it is. It's dust. It's dust. I'm in here today just for a second. I've been gone. So pretty much all last week I was in New York visiting friends. So my best friend lives in Brooklyn. So I did a birthday sale while I was gone, and now I'm back. And me and my assistants are working on getting all of those orders out. So we've got like a mix of stuff that people have ordered that's coming from my printer in California, and then a mix of things that we are shipping out from here. So like the big prints, stickers, and postcards. I think that's it. That's all stuff that we still ship out from here. So right now I am going through and printing off all of the shipping labels for my assistant to come in later this afternoon and finish packing those so that she just has them ready to go. But here in a little bit, I'm actually gonna go over to, never mind, false alarm, okay. I am going over to my friend Trista's new bakery that she's opening up in downtown Colorado Springs called Provision. And we're gonna talk about doing a mural. So hopefully I will remember to bring my camera and be a good YouTuber and film some of that.